The masher is finished now, so we've got to do our transfer of the work to the kettle. So that's pretty simple. All I have to do is turn on the tap to divert the work to the kettle. So I've just done that. I'll turn off the recirculating. Yeah, it goes by the counterflow chiller. So it takes a while, about 8 minutes long. It should pop out in the kettle shortly. Turn off all the temperature control. Don't need that anymore. So I've heated up my hot liquor tank to 78 degrees for sparging. So it's sitting right on there. If it's any hotter than that, you start getting tannin extracted from the husks of the grain. So don't go any hotter than that. About 172 Fahrenheit, or something like that. So as you can see, starting to come out in the kettle. So we'll transfer it across, do our sparging and get the boil going. So here it is, sparging. Yeah, I've collected about 15 litres or so far. As you can see, I'm topping it up with the sparge water as I go. So I've just turned this tap on and the 78 degree water just flows on top of the wort. You can probably see the last of the sugary wort just about to go through the grain bed, and I'll wash it out with a continuous sparge. So I'm aiming for about 45 litres after the boil, so I'm going to top it up to about 55 litres, as I'll lose about 10 litres in the boil. So this takes about, I don't know, 15-20 minutes or so, and then we'll get the boil going. I'll turn the burner on soon to start heating up. Okay, the brew's about to come to the boil, so I'm just weighing out my first hop addition. In this case I'm using Southern Cross from New Zealand. It's 13.2% alpha acid, so pretty bitter. I'm going to use 45 grams. Already weighed out 34 grams in another packet. I'm using hop bags because that's the best way I can separate the hops from the wort at the end of the boil. I don't have a whirlpool or anything like that. There we go, 46, close enough. So now I can just reseal this on the vacuum bag sealer. That's what I do with all my hops, as you can see in the freezer. They're all vacuum sealed, so I'll show you that machine shortly. Yeah, I'll take it inside and vacuum seal. Sealer, just a cheapo, costs about 75 Australian dollars, I think, off some website somewhere. All I do is put the bag in, press vacuum seal, takes all the oxygen out, makes the hops last a lot longer, and then I just chuck them in the freezer so they can last for a few years like that pretty well. So easy, nice. The brew is about to come up to the boil. Thermometer says 95 or 6, but that's after it's gone through the counterflow chiller. I keep it circulating during the boil just to pasteurise, I suppose, my counterflow chillers, which you can see at the back. So basically there's 8 metres of copper pipe where the wort goes through, and on the outside of that there's a thicker copper pipe that I run cold water through at the end of the boil, and that quickly reduces the temperature from 80 to whatever my fermentation temperature is. And underneath the kettle I've got a 3-ring burner. I can probably turn it up a wee bit, but it just gets a really good boil going. You want a really good boil, so you get rid of all your volatile compounds that you don't want, such as DNF, etc. So it's just starting to boil as we're looking now. So I'll grab my hops and chuck them in. So at the start of the boil we have to be pretty careful that we don't get a boil over, so we might have to turn it down if it boils right up. But it will settle down in 5 minutes or so. And I can turn the burner back up then. Now's a good time to also sterilise my fermenter. So hopefully just using one of these plastic ones. It's been cleaned pretty well. When you clean it, just use a soft cloth, don't use anything abrasive or you'll put scratches in it where the bacteria can hide. So basically I've got some no-rinse steriliser. So just chuck some of that in. Make sure you take your taps off. So sterilise those and when the tap joins. Run a bit through the tap and just shake it around. That's pretty well sterilised. So the boil's going along pretty well, so I just turn it down so I don't get a boil over. Yep, and we'll just give it a boil. We'll do another hop addition a bit later. We've got about 15 minutes to go on the boil, 16, but I've got another hop addition to go in at 15 minutes, so it'll flavour hop. And then I'm also going to chuck in a Whirlpock tablet, which is an Irish moss kettle fining. So I'm going to crush that up. Sometimes if you chuck it in whole, sometimes it just comes up and doesn't mix in properly, so it's best to crush them up using mortar and pestle. And I'm also going to chuck in some yeast nutrients. This is the Y yeast nutrient. It's probably not that essential for full malt beer, but this beer has actually got a bit of sugar in it because it's a strong Belgian ale. So it doesn't hurt to chuck some in, so I'll chuck a teaspoon of yeast nutrient in. So 15 minutes to go now, so I'll chuck my hop addition in. Chuck my Whirlpock in. And chuck my yeast nutrient in. And we'll be back in 15 minutes for final hop addition and start chilling down the work. Got a few minutes left to go in the boil, when we'll do another hop addition and we'll turn off the burner and chill the wort. But I'll just show you the cold liquor tank that I've got. Basically, got a chest freezer that's been filled up with water. It's got a bit of colour to it, we'll put some iodine in it to stop it going manky. Basically, it's hooked up to a thermostat and set to 1 degree, and then there's a pressure pump at the back that kicks in automatically when I turn the tap on. So I use that for chilling the wort. But before I had it, I couldn't chill it down fast enough using the main tap water over summer, so it's not so bad during winter. I still use it anyway. And then I'll also show you my yeast starter. Basically, that's it. It's made up out of dried malt extract and water and a little bit of hop so the yeast gets used to the alpha acid. And it's on a magnetic stirrer that I've made up. Basically, it's a couple of rare earth magnets attached to a little 6-volt motor, and this is the stirrer that's in the starter. I'll show you what it does. Basically, attaches to the magnet and you turn it on, spins around and stirs up the yeast, keeps it in solution. So I'll chuck that in as I'm transferring to the fermenter. So we've got another minute and a half until the end of the boil, so I'll come back then.